Hello and welcome to another installment of CR Wrestling Commentary, and I'm going to be talking about how I would use Jade Cargill. Now Jade Cargill is right now not a workhorse, but a blunder horse when it comes to wrestling. Speaking isn't that well. Yeah, she can do a lot vocally, but her memory keeps lapsing. She's in the wrong area, I would say. Not company, just the wrong area. So I was thinking, okay, let me remind myself what this woman looked like, because listening to Jim Cornette was just pissing me off. Just to be honest with you, because Jim Cornette doesn't know what a woman is anyway. He doesn't know females. He's got a traditionalist mindset that blocks him from evolving beyond, I am man, I must be this way. So that right there, now granted, a lot of stuff Cornette will say, I'm pretty much like, oh, he agrees with me. Or, oh, I didn't know that. Man, I am glad someone enlightened me to that. Oh, that's what that is. So I do a lot of that. Listen to Jim Cornette, especially Brian Last. And listen to the Vanguard, listen to that with Brian Last at 605 and all that other stuff. And, when they talk about Jade Cargill, it's never in a decent light. And I understand why. I get it. In all honesty, if I ran my own promotion, she'd be fired. Like, as soon as she walked through the door and they introduce me to her, and I get to it's a certain look people have in their eyes. It's a certain look, and I would have been like, because there's a certain look where you can just read stupid all over them. You can read it. I'm not saying she's stupid, but what I'm saying is she's not going to get with the program of let this be a professional wrestling show of good versus evil, storylines, matches, and stuff like that. Your story needs to build the match, and your match needs to aid in the story. It's not about the match is the groundwork for a long 35-minute segment of talking. No, you should have the 30 seconds to a minute of talking, maybe more, depending upon, and then your match should be, depending upon, anywhere between 50 seconds to 5 or 6 minutes on average. And that's depending upon who's wrestling who. So Jade Cargill, for those that stuck around for this amount of time, let me just straight up say Jade Cargill, looking at her picture, I had to put that in. Looking at her, I'm like, this girl is outright beautiful. She is just gorgeous head to toe. I'm not gonna front on that. But she's powerful looking. I don't know, she's a bodybuilder, is not exactly strength training. You look good, but that's probably where it ends. And that's the only problem with bodybuilding. And bodybuilding is something it's its own animal. It's its own animal. In professional wrestling, those that got that powerhouse look, like think of Ishimori Taiji. He was all ripped and abbed down, and then he had to get on that wrestling schedule, and it kind of started going away. The same was a little bit with Sonata. And you see that, like back in the day, WWF's Chris Masters, how he was a hulking behemoth, and then he got injured, come back, and he is much smaller. It's like Chris Masters threw up Chris Masters. But you could actually see where he was strong and how he was strong, instead of just, big and probably allegedly steroided out. So Jade Cargill, how I would use her if I had a company, how would I use her? This is how I would build things up. First, let's say, hey, we talk and we said, what do you want to do? I noticed her personality for AEW. I started at the first one. All right. She has that straight up talk to the hand, whatever attitude. All right. But traditionally, what people want to do with someone that looks like her, you know, the big behemoth monster that don't really talk that much and yada, yada, yada. No, you don't have to do that. Honestly, it's boring. It's really boring. So what I would do is, you want to have that attitude, fine, but you got to use it to your advantage. How I would do that for her. One, look at her. She's on it. Look, I look at her. I'm like, that's a body for you. You know, I'm not going to get into the specifics because I could talk about it all day, all year. All right. She is a powerhouse, but she has to be the powerhouse in the way that's going to work for her and get her over, get the company over. So she's new. She's let's say she's been trained for 6 months to a year. She's been trained. She's been learning. All right. You want to use that in your favor. So in doing that, what I would do is she would just hit the ring. Her opponent's already there. It's an enhancement girl or job girl, whichever you want to call it. And Jade would come to the ring, her music, and would she have to look like I'm the hulking behemoth and I'm unstoppable? No. I would have her come to the ring looking bored. She would come to the ring like, what is this? She'd be annoyed. Very annoyed. Don't say anything. Get in that ring. Beat the brakes off of this little girl inside of a minute. Okay? The girl can try offense, but it doesn't hurt. It doesn't have any effect. And that's what you do. Jade wins a minute or less. Barely break a sweat, if that. Look good, pose, flop your hair around, do a little sigh of relief, and, you know, do a little shoo out the ring thing. You know, let it all look good. After that, then she goes back. Okay, fine. Then next match will be the same. You put her in those matches consistently for a year. That's what she do. Why? Because that would be her gaining her experience. It's short, quick matches, but intermediate between each match, you sit there and make sure this woman, you know, is being trained further. The psychology of wrestling. You get her with the physical psychology of wrestling. You get her to understand. Listen to those fans. They like something. That don't mean you do it again or you try to do better. You acknowledge that, yes, they liked that. And if you're a heel, we wouldn't designate her as a heel or not. We let the fans determine that. You know, that's why she say nothing. She just go in, mess somebody up inside of a minute, maybe two, depending upon their stature. So if she's going against someone, you know, that's like 5'3" to 5'6", and they are not a little stocky powerhouse looking thing, they're just the average size female wrestler, yeah, you're looking at about 40 some seconds, maybe to a minute. And then you got someone that might be 5'8", maybe 5'10", and the female got some weight on them. That match might be about 2 to 3 minutes. It just depends. You know, have a little fight back because she's big enough to do it. You would work on those matches probably the next year or maybe after 6 months. It just depends on the crowd. Cargill would always be the second match or maybe the opening match. It just depends. Who's on the lineup? What's the show got installed for it? That's how I would do it. I would do that for a while. And she'll have, it shows that she can work a little bit longer. And then after doing that, because she's not a part of anything, and others, even though she hasn't lost a single match, but but she's also wrestling, the enhancements. Keep that in mind. The girls that show up every once in a while, and you might see her go against someone maybe 4 or 5 times that year. Once every 2 months, you might see her go against the same one. Just might. You might see the same one back to back, depending upon. In addition, let's keep this. If people want to be storyline based, then I would actually have the enhancement girl cut a small, short promo to test her and say, I can beat her. I know I can. Yeah, I got destroyed, but I think I figured something out. All right, do nothing. Cargill would wrestle somebody else. Then Cargill would cut a promo. She got destroyed and she thinks she can handle me in the ring? Oh man, I got so much more important stuff to do than to wrestle her and beat her again. What's the point of destroying her again? You know what? That's taking me out of my day, and then show her be upset and angry about that. Because your little ego got as bruised as your body. You want to waste my time. So then you gotta, the next week, the girl cuts a promo. The enhancement girl cuts another promo. Before the show really begins, I know what you've done and I know I can get you. Okay, then fine. Now they have another match. This time the girl actually moves around, stick and move. And Cargill is someone where you have to acknowledge there's got to be some kind of weakness. It would not be her arms. It would not be her abs. It would not be her thighs. It would be her lower back, and it'd be shin or knee pit area or ankles. Okay? And to be very specific, everyone's neck is weak. Just in general, because that's just how you work with wrestling. And her wrists. All right? So if she gets on the mat, somehow, stomp that wrist, stomp that ankle. Show that you can exploit something. Drop kick her in the small of the back if you're able to get behind her. That kind of thing. If you can sneak behind her real quick on some kind of, if Cargill goes for a clothesline, you duck behind, drop kick her in the small of the back. Drop kick her in the back of the knee. Chop block. Something. You got her on the mat. Stomp the wrist. You do these things. You hurt her. You're showing this stuff. This little 2 week, maybe 3 week rivalry thing. Cargill, obviously, she's going to win again. That's just going to happen. But it'll be done in about 3 to 4 minutes, not the 1 minute squash. So that's shown. Whoa, somebody got to her. Now you're wondering who else might get to her. But she goes on to squash others because she makes sure that others can't get that on her. This is how I would be using her. I would spread this out. Little bitty, hey, I got you. Maybe twice a year. Twice a year. I think I can get you. I see this. I saw what she did. I just got to do it too. You bring in someone that's better on submission. So they try to get the wrist. They try to work the wrist lock. They try to work the hammer lock. They, drop kick, get her down, drop kick in the small of the back, the knee pit. Maybe get the ankle, drop toe hold, get her down, get the wrist, work the wrist. Cargill at points, got to get the ropes. But what happens? She's going to win because she's strong. She's going to power out of this. And when she does, it has to be convincing. It can't just be a little bit here. Oh, I made a comeback. No. And make sure she sells the things a little bit. Not, oh, I'm fully all right. No, it got to her a little bit. And after she wins, she kind of might hold her wrist or work her ankle a little bit and look at the woman and probably stomp on her one more time like, you damn fool, getting to me. Something like that. And then you put her up there in a certain title match. Maybe it could be a woman's, not the women's, world title or heavyweight title, but maybe there could be a second, intercontinental title, U.S. title, countryside title or country road title, something secondary, things like that. She can work her way up, get that belt. Each match, it exploits. It's going to be about 5 or 6 minute match. She gets a little banged up, but not too much. It shows that there was fight back, but Cargill's going to win. There was fight back, but Cargill's going to win. And you do that, she wins the title. She defends this title multiple times. She keeps it for maybe half a year. And she says, I'm going for the higher title now. All this time now, she's training. That's what you do. She trains this whole time. And while training, she's getting better. All of these opponents that she's having, she's working with. She's training with them. They're training with her. They're honing their skills, re-honing their skills, keeping their skills honed, whatever it takes. And they're familiar with each other. So they know what to do and not to do. They know their style. They know how to work around certain things, all this other stuff. Their training, it's not choreographed. It's none of that. Ric Flair and Steamboat had so many matches together. You think it was just matches? No, that's training. If a wrestler in his match or her match is not training, then they have failed. You don't just get in and I know what I'm doing. I'm great. Yada, yada, yada. No. You train all the time. You train all the time. And with that training, what happened with Flair and Steamboat? It got to the point after so many matches, even Steamboat said it. We didn't have to talk in the ring. We just did it. We just went out there and did it. We called audibles and we did other stuff, but we knew what each other meant by calling that audible. They knew it. And so if you get training like that, and you can work and work and work and keep your cardio up, keep your power up, keep that physique up, keep that personality going. And Cargill is like, I just won this belt. How hard do you think it was? Not really. But I don't know why they don't just put the belt, in my lap while I'm polishing my nails. I don't know why they don't do that. Look, I got to work on my hair. I can't go out there and just waste my time doing the obvious. I'm going to win because look at me. Look at this physique. Look at the power in my arms. Look at the power in my thighs. Look at these abs. The only thing stronger than me is a diamond right now. Why? Because I haven't tested it. I've got things to do. Have her be that arrogant. Go out there and beat the hell out of people, annoyed that you got to be taken out of your beauty day to go do it. So I could be pumping iron and working on these guns, but instead I got to go out there and flatten a pea shooter. Upset about this crap. She wins ultimately the main title. She holds it on her belt, on her shoulder, and she's like, hey, the only thing that's as prestigious as this frame is this title. Thank you for giving it to me. It don't matter how brutal of a match it had to be. It don't matter if it was a 30 minutes beat down on both ends. She can stand there kneeling in pain. And she says, thank you for giving this to me. You tried. You failed like I said you would. These abs haven't failed me, but your abs clearly have failed you. Put the belt over them guns. Flex a little bit. Limp from the ring. Because that was a title match. You have to make sure that opponent looked like it was an opponent. You do not squash a champion. They're a champion for a reason. Never squash a champion unless something went terribly wrong and you got no choice. Just say, Hiromu versus Kushida. Things went really wrong. So that turned into a squash. Like in CR Fire Pro, Daylight versus Vasa Vitaloto. Something went terribly wrong and that turned into a squash match. It's rare, but it happens. So now she's champion. She keeps training, but you only see her wrestle once a month. and she will go through maybe a full year of defenses, 12 defenses. Every once in a while, she might double up on defenses. She might have 2 defenses March, 2 defenses in June, 2 defenses in August, something like that. She keeps that persona. The fans don't like her. She doesn't have a faction. She doesn't have a manager. What she has is herself. And she'll tell you, I don't need a manager. I got this belt. I don't need a faction. I got this body and the belt. That's my tag team. That's it. I can't destroy you out in the parking lot. So I got a faction. The belt, me, and the ring. That's it. That's my faction to destroy whoever's out there. And all 3 of us is going to put a hurting on you. It don't matter how she got to come across with whatever. She's just got to do it. And she's got to make it legit. And every opponent outside of a title match is borrowing her time. It's just, I could be doing XYZ with XYZ, and here you are getting in my way. It could be that. I got my hair to work with. I need to work on these abs. They don't just do this for nothing. I got to work at it. And here you is getting on my nerves. You know, I got to build up these guns. And I notice my weaknesses. I got to build up my wrist or my ankles, or I got to work on my lower back. And here you are wasting my time. So she might go out there and wrestle someone and hurt them. That would be an angle. She becomes one that starts to injure people. So now she's even deadlier. And now her opponent is like, crap, because soon it's going to be a title match. So now the crowd is what? She might hurt them. She might hurt them. It don't matter who her opponent is. The crowd's going to be a little concerned. All right? Just a little bit of concern. So now she's been hurting people. She done hurt about 4 people in a row. Now this person got to come out and it's a world title match. And they're gonna wrestle, and it's gonna be brutal. And Cargill will try to hurt her. You can see it halfway through this match. She gets to the point where she's trying to hurt her with the things that hurt the others. It's just not working. Why? Because this is a high level competitor that Cargill is going against. This competitor fights tooth and nail and loses. That's simple. Cargill's been a heel too long. The crowd just ain't really feeling it. Not like they were. And they probably gone bored. So now you probably need to switch. Maybe. It just depends on how the crowd, if they're still, we don't like you, boo, okay, keep it going. But if not, if the crowd is kind of silent, that's when you bring in a group or a new person. Because Cargill is so huge, her height, her build, you have to bring in somebody of equal, close to equal or greater physique and skill. Someone that's known not to back down. Someone that need not back down. So that's when they come in, and let's say it's a group. That's when it's better. It could be 2 people. It could be 3. 3 at the minimum. Cargill goes out, squashes somebody, holds up the title. She's looking to the fans. People jump from the fans, run to the ring, attack Cargill, beat her down. Beat her down. Leave her laying prone. Not only do you have the new group, not only is the crowd stunned, now you're like, what's up with this? What's up with this? They hold the title belt up. One holds the belt up, points to the belt, points to each one of them, points to Cargill and throw the belt down on her. Leave the ring. There you go. Now, is this a heel? Are they the faces that's tired of her heel? Cargill comes out and cuts a promo somewhere in the back or something. This is how I'll be using her. And she would do this. I'm pretty much going through almost the early parts of her career. Actually, I'm going through it. This is about what, 3-4 years in? And she's right now, she'd be, turning, now this could be shortened to 2 years. It could be shortened to a year. It could be 6 months going on how things are today. But I think this would be best. This is how I would use her. And I think she would look good. I really do. And she cuts that promo. Hey, I don't know who you are, but you jumped me. And the fans enjoy seeing me as champion. They enjoy seeing me beat the hell out of people. And you ruined that. Why would you ruin what the fans enjoy? This isn't right. This isn't fair. You know how long it takes for me to look this good and you come out here and ruin it for the fans? A little schmarmy, I suppose. And the fans will still be in the middle, but then they come out and they say some real messed up stuff. And some of those squash matches, they happen to have been friends and or siblings of one or two of those three people. Now if I have to say, I might have flubbed earlier and said he or something, but it'd be female. They'd be female. I'm looking at the screen while I'm talking. I'm looking at my old matches and stuff. This is from the first big event ever done for CR Fire Pro. So my bad if I did, but still, you get the picture. Females against females. I'm not gonna do the intergender thing for actual human wrestling. Gaming different, human, come on. So that's when that the whole change, and now she can be in various programs and whatnot, various really good storylines, and I could keep going. I really could, but I think that's the best way to use Jade Cargill. The way she's being used now is just complete trash. So yeah, I wonder what y'all think about, what do you think about Jade Cargill? Because like I said, physically, outright outstanding, beautiful. Personality, what she's displaying, I'm thinking is a little bit real. Not so much. I could see she was trying. I only saw the first one. I haven't seen the second one. I'm honestly going to watch AEW before Wednesday and see what she's done. But I really wish Jim Cornette would simply shut the fuck up about a female's physique. I really do. I really do. Beauty comes in all shapes and sizes. So does cuteness. So don't be body shaming. Now I get it. Some wrestlers, good grief, yeah. Some people, yeah, I get it, yeah. I'm one of them. You ain't gonna see me out in the damn ring. I don't care if I didn't have this illness or not. This body is not gonna be shown in public. No. It's not happening. But still, got to lay off, got to chill, So what do y'all think about Jade Cargill? Going on how she looked and getting her fully trained and all that. This is how I would have used her. But in a sense, hey, it is what it is, and she is where she is, and it's gonna take something like this for me to even watch some of it as I work on all this other stuff I'm doing. So I'll probably have to do a lot of rewinding to see what goes on, but I'm probably barely going to look at the screen. Just going to keep it real. But yeah, like I asked, what do y'all think about Jade Cargill? What do you think about this? In any case, it's been Cedric Kennedy for CR Wrestling commentary on how I would use Jade Cargill. Thank you for listening.